So, did you know that you probably have the best medicine in your cabinet right now? And better yet, it can be used every day to improve your health. Yes. So in this video, I am going to show you 5 benefits of honey. So if you find this valuable, if you're thinking about it, like and subscribe to this page or this channel, depending on where you're watching. So we are going to start with benefit number 1. Benefit number 1 is nutrients. So we all like honey. Well, some people like honey, but I like honey. And honey is really good. And we know the staples, like, oh, we put it in tea or this or that. But, we just like the taste of honey. Well, let me tell you, honey itself has so many nutrients in it. One of the first things that come to mind for me is polyphenols. If you've followed me long enough, you would know that I talk about polyphenols a lot. And what a polyphenol does is it acts as a neutralizer for free radicals that are in your body. And free radicals are the bad guys. Those are the guys that damage your cells. Those are the guys that can give us all sorts of problems, diseases, illnesses, and that. It very, 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 very much helps. Free radicals can cause cancer, diabetes, heart disease. All these things are floating around within us. And we have found, research is showing that honey is high in polyphenols. So I feel like it reminds me of a video game where, I forgot what it was called, but the old one, and I used to play it, where it would like zap, 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 zap. It would zap the ships. And I feel like that's kind of what honey does, because honey has those polyphenols, and it is zapping and neutralizing all those free radicals that are floating around in our system that don't want us to be healthy, or is attacking our cells. And so honey is one of those really, really great substances that get rid of them, neutralize them, so they're not damaging our cells. You can find polyphenols in a lot of foods besides honey. There's a lot of like the dark leafy vegetables, the really dark fruits like the berries. Berries have tons, especially grapes, red grapes. Some herbs and spices, tea, dark chocolate, even wine has polyphenols in it. So our subject is honey, but just so you know that polyphenols would be reason number 1 why honey is good for our health. The second reason, believe it or not, is that it is better for your blood sugar than regular sugar. It is still a sugar. So anything I am talking about with honey, and if you have any kind of diabetes, especially type 2, I believe, it still should be mild to moderate. If you don't have a problem, or if you're losing weight as well, still mild to moderate. But in general, we've been learning that, or researching that honey has a hormone in it that reduces inflammation, which is huge, because autoimmune, we are discovering, is huge about inflammation. All kinds of autoimmune diseases, you think psoriasis, arthritis, eczema, and so on, lupus. These are all autoimmune diseases. And if we can have something like honey that can help improve blood sugar regulation, and you're thinking, wait, but it's a sugar, but it has a hormone in it that can help equalize the blood sugar. It doesn't give it that spike that like regular table sugar does, or all the sucroses and fructoses and all the oses that are in a lot of the foods, that sweet foods that we like. I shouldn't say that, foods, because even tomato sauces, ketchups, those all have the oses in it also, which are not good for your body or for your system. And so research is showing that adding honey instead of sugar to things can be a better choice than regular white refined sugar, although you should still use all sugar in forms of moderation. The third benefit is that they're showing now that honey may actually improve your heart health. So they did research, and For women aged over 40 and they had moderate honey intake, they had actually lower high blood pressure rates than those that did not use honey. Especially raw honey, you do have to be careful, but raw honey contains a resin. I'm not going to say it right. I never do. Propolis. I believe that's how you say it. And the resin that the bees themselves produce from certain plants, they're saying may improve your cholesterol and your triglyceride levels. So actually consuming a mild to moderate amount of honey can help with heart health, with lowering your cholesterol and improving the good cholesterol. So these are just, wow, number 3, that's a good one for me. For some reason, we still haven't figured it out. My cholesterol has been rising through the last, I don't know, maybe 5 years, and I still don't know really why. So I'm adding honey regularly. I mean, I love honey and I use it on stuff, but I'm making a conscious effort to use it regularly and see if that is one of the ways to help improve my cholesterol, because nobody wants to have high cholesterol. Even if you're eating healthy and you're exercising, if you have high cholesterol, that's still dangerous. So I'm trying to figure that one out, because I feel like it's an estrogen thing, but I'm doing more research on that one. But for the regular guy and gal, having honey can be good for your heart, believe it or not. Number 4, this one is huge. It promotes burn and wound healing. So this isn't just about ingesting the honey. It is also about, I have something in my eye. It is just the benefits of honey in general. So if you use honey topically, that's been used since ancient times, like since Egypt. They've been using honey topically for wound healing and burn healing for thousands and thousands of years. And the researchers are theorizing that the healing powers are coming from its antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties. Now, that is also the reason why you should never ever give honey to children under the age of 2, because their immune systems and their little bodies aren't quite ready for the bacteria that honey has. We are fine. As adults and teenagers, we're perfectly fine with it. In fact, it is helping us. But for infants, it is not. But for wound healing, because of these anti-inflammatory and I said inflammatory and bacterial, sorry, and antibacterial properties, it is perfect to put a little dab on when you have a cut, a scrape, like I have on my finger. I put a little honey. I cut myself today, and I got honey in it, and it's going to prevent infection, wound healing as well. And believe it or not, you can also apply it if you have psoriasis or eczema. Like, these things are like really, really good. So I want to take a moment to talk about a particular kind of honey. Honey in general, I want you to be super careful. Some honeys say, I forgot what, they use all kinds of words these days. All I'm going to say is, when you're choosing honey, here's a few things. Number 1, try to get local honey if you can. Local honey is made from bees that have been pollinating on all the beautiful flowers in your area, and that can help with some allergies as well. So it's really, really good to get local honey if you can. The other thing is, before you purchase that honey, flip it over and check the ingredients, because sadly, even though it's against the law, some companies will put corn syrup or some other kind of fructose, those. They will add it into the honey to save money, obviously, because if it's not 100% honey and they throw in the cheap sugary stuff, then they can make a bottle of honey cheaper. So make sure that it is 100% honey. And if you have a little extra money, try to get pure Manuka honey. Manuka honey is like, there's actually a Manuka scale, because Manuka is that spectacular. You will see that it is quite a bit more. Most of the times, people who are using Manuka, it is more of a medical grade honey, and it is more for the wound and burn healing. But it wouldn't hurt to keep that on hand, like a small bottle, for such emergencies. The Manuka honey comes from the bees in Australia and New Zealand, and they are pollinating the tea tree. Have you heard of tea tree oil? So it has a really long technical name, so I'm just going to say tea tree. But when they pollinate that bush or tree, and the honey produced from that is spectacular, like I said, medicinal grade, you will see a huge price increase. So bottom line here is honeys are different. Some, you can have a honey here, but some honeys are 100 times more potent in their anti-inflammatory, their antibacterial properties, 100 times more. So we can do a little research, but I can tell you that Manuka is like real up there. Manuka is one of those honeys that having on hand for emergencies is really, really good. Finally, number 5. It's not the last benefit. It's the last benefit I'm going to talk about because there are so many. It's easy. It's easy to add in your daily life, honey. It's easy to make the switch. It really, really is. You can do so many things with honey. So you can obviously do things like pour it over your yogurt, put it in your tea, sweeten other kinds of, you could do hot tea and cold tea, using it as an ingredient. Tonics, home remedies, garlic and honey, like it's almost, I don't know, I want to say almost, if you do it right, it's as good as antibiotics. Like there is so much. The thing that I just want to point out still, and I will continue to say, is definitely still moderation. If you put too much honey on everything, that is not good because it's still a sugar. But it when you use it in moderation, you have a cup of tea, you put it in your cup of tea, you can put because you're not putting like buckets, right? You're not putting cups. So you're drizzling a little on your yogurt, or you're drizzling a little on your oatmeal instead of brown sugar. You're putting it in that tea. I make it with my matcha green tea because you have to use warm water anyway, so it helps dissolve the honey into the liquid. So it's like a spectacular product. It's just, it's a miracle, and here it is, right? If you are interested in deep diving in honey, this week in the You Are Well community, we are doing a lot of things with honey. We're going to be talking about things that we can ingest with honey. We're talking about skincare with honey. We're talking about all kinds of things that you can do with honey. In fact, if you would like to be a part of that group, just let me know. Say me in the comments, and I can get you into that group. Also, I'm trying a new thing. I am going to have a free resource every time I go live on this channel. So the free resource for today will be 4 skincare masks that you can make DIY with honey. 4 of them. Really fun week. Honey is a big part of my life. Luckily, I love it. I'm trying to spread the news that it's not just about tea, but there's just so much we can do with it. So that's why I'm here anyway. I am here to help you help yourself.